Hey y'all, let's get ready to have some fun with ribbon. And this time we are going to be rocking out the pink and the yellow and screaming lots of color in this design. So I'm using both 1.5-inch ribbons, and we do have these on Cleese.com. So let us know if you need the link. We'll be happy to share that with you. Today we're going to make what's called a funky bow. And on a funky bow, the tails go up and they go down. So I'm going to grab my scissors here and start with an 8-inch tail popping up. And then I'm going to hold that in the center and start to make my loops. These are going to be at 6 inches. And I am going to make 3 of these at 6. And really get this bow popping. 6, and here comes another one at 6 inches. Twist in that middle. And one more. So we've got 3 on each side. And I've got one tail up and one tail going down right here, okay? And I like my tails at about 8 inches. All right, now we're gonna bring in our next layer in this bow, and that's gonna be yellow. It's coming in next. So I'm gonna work opposite. Bring that in here and twist. Now I wanna make this 2 loops, and we're going to space them to kind of go in between these and at about 5.5. So 5.5. There goes my one on the left. Now I'm going to do them on the right again. And the reason it's called a funky bow, it's just a bow that has multiple tails, and they don't have the long tails. And a lot of times you can make these with many different styles of ribbon, but here we're just going to work with 2. When you get to that last tail, don't twist it. I accidentally twisted it. Just scrunch it down, okay? And now I'm going to take and trim these so they match at 8 inches. And that looks great. We're just going to finish up with a touch of pink in the center. And I'm not even going to do another loop. I'm literally just going to do another tail in here, just to kind of finish out with a pop of paint. And I did that a little bit shorter. Now we're going to go ahead and take it off the bow maker. So I'm going to run my cable tie right next to the dowels. Pull that up just a little. Make sure you grab everybody you're supposed to grab. Pull that up. Add some tension. Okay, I'm going to hold that pressure with my fingers. And now we're going to go ahead and slide that over a little, get it to the center. Bring it to the back, and we will get ready to pull it tight. I'm going to add a cable, not a cable tie, a U-pin in there, because that's going to work for a way for me to pin this in some floral foam. And if you want to know what we're going to use this bow on, just let us know in the comments. We will definitely share with you that video. That's the funnest part of all this, see where we're using them. Now I want you to make sure those tails are working opposite. See, this pink is opposite that pink. This yellow is opposite that yellow. You want to really shape that up right now. And my last little detail piece is the middle. And I'm going to use the really cute, stinking cute yellow. And I'm going to cut this a little bit longer, probably about 10 inches on either side instead of 8. And just set that aside for a second. We're going to fold it in the center. And I'm going to cover the center and cover my mechanics, but I'm going to be able to leave a little tail. You got to run that through the floral pin, okay, and pull this back where he's going pointing backward, and make my little knot right in the center. Then when you pull this tight, make sure the pretty side of the ribbon's facing forward, okay, so that when these pull now, and this pin stays in the middle. Pull that tail through there. There we go. See? Now these can pop up and down in your bow, but you've covered your green cable tie in the middle, and it's looking really polished and finished. Hey Bloomerinos, check out how cute this ribbon is. I cannot wait for us to make a bow for this together. And this particular bow has got that really pink, springy vibe. But, you know, pink is trending for every season, so don't rule out anything. Like, grab your pink ribbons and let's have some fun. Hey guys, I'm Khalid with Clees.com, and we like to show you how to make beautiful bows and how to use them in your floral designs, of course. And today we're going to mix 3 different ribbons together. I've chose 2 pinks that are kind of bringing in that white and the pink, a little bit of iridescent, a little bit of this little ball edge, which just gives it that little feminine touch. And then I'm going to work in a nice kind of pastel-y plaid in here. And this one is really pretty because it's got a little bit of teal, a little bit of green. So it's going to look great with these 2 to kind of break them up to go well anytime we want to use this with our florals. We're going to break this bow down really easy and show you how to make it. This bow is going to be large and in charge. I'm going to use it on a wreath, so I know I want it big. If you want to know where we use this in the video, make sure you let us know in the comments. We will tell you where it ends up so we can share that link with you. Do not forget, anytime you see us making bows and you want to head over to our website, you can, and there are links to the videos that go with everything we make. If you see something that's password protected, that's because it's protected for our design school students, and those are videos they only have access to because they're paying for that. We would love to have you in our class. The class closes at the end of this month, so you've got to get in there before time runs out. It is amazing and fun to be creating with you. It's just showing you how to use ribbons and florals and how to design just like I do. It is a step-by-step process that you can take at your own pace, and I think you're going to love it. So let's start building this base out. As you could guess, I'm going to pull the 2 smaller ribbons off to the side here, and then what you need to do is grab the largest ribbon. We're going to use it in the back. I want this to be really showy. This has got that little feminine ball. I love that. It's screaming. It's just screaming, I'm so sweet and cute. I love that. So we're going to go 20 inches here. So if you go the whole length of your bow maker, that's 20 inches. I'm going to bring that to the center. Bring it on in here, and you got to twist it. So you might be saying, why are we always twisting when we're making bows? That's so we get the pretty side outward, and it also creates some tension in the center. Okay? If you're using really fancy ribbon that has 2 sides, well, then you don't have to do that. But that's not in our price range today. These are a little more affordable, but still really, really pretty. So this is 6.5 inches on here, and I'm going to put 2 loops on either side. So when I'm on the right side, I twist forward with the right hand. I bring that left hand back. We're going to do that on both sides, just like this. Bada bing, bada boom. And I'm going to keep just fluffing this puppy up. All right? Keep doing it, keep doing it. Then I'm going to scrunch it down. We'll separate these out right here. And these are my tails. Now, I like to cut my tails opposite, just so they have a little bit of character to them. And so they're opposite little V cuts to each side. You're kind of making like a little chevron when you put them together. 2 on the bottom. We're going to bring our next layer on, and I'm going to use this pretty plaid next. I still like for it to just show out with that really long tail, so I'm going to bring it to the center, and I'll twist. And I'm going to keep these long out there too at 6.5. We want to make them really full, because I really want to use this ribbon because this is just so sweet. I just think it's just sweet for the spring season. It's just spring. It's screaming spring. I can't say it. I just can't get it out. All right, I'm going to twist this one. And let's keep going. So I end up with 3 on the left side. We're going to do the same thing over on the right. 3 on the right. And I still want to have my long, luscious tails that are going to come on down. And we're going to cut these opposite also. Careful you don't cut yourself. We don't need any extra drama, no accidents, no accidents. Now we're going to finish up at the very front of the design with this cute little rickrack. It's got a little zigzag and a stripe. It's a railroad stripe with a little zigzag rickrack. I mean, could you get any cuter? So I'm going to cut that at an angle. We'll start on the right side over here again. bringing it in, right hand forward, left hand back. And now I'm going to go at 5.5 and twist. And we're going to put 2 loops in of these. I think you're going to love this. This bow we want to be big because I am making it just over the top adorable. Trim that out, cut this one. Next step, bring the pink back from the back. I like to use that as a little bit of a treat. We're going to bring this back to the foreground. We don't have to have a tail though. We're just going to do what we call a bow tie. So you're just going to make a loop. Most bow ties, I don't want them really big, but if I can get about 5 inches on each side, you can just lay it right in front of your bow and kind of get an idea. Then you do need to crisscross in the back here. They got to crisscross. And just keep it kind of simple in that back. Here we go. Now what I want you to do is just take and pleat that up. And make a little cute little sweet bow tie just like that. Isn't that adorable? I'm going to put that right in the center. And you just polished it off really, really cute. You finished it out really feminine. Isn't that great? Now, let's go ahead and take it off the bow maker. I'm going to use a cable tie here, and I'm going to just slide that over to the right side of my bow maker. Put 2 fingers on the top, add a little pressure. Okay? And what I want you to do now is take and just rotate this to the back. When you do that, you can see it kind of, the tippy part is coming out the back, and you have to fluff it right now. If you tie that tight and it's all just janky looking, you are going to end up with a mess. So you have to fluff it right now. That bow maker just holds it for you. It's just a bow holder. Doesn't make it. You still have to make it. And I hope you enjoy watching our videos to help you work with color and texture, because all of that is going to help you get better at your floral design. If you are not on our text list, you're going to have to get on it. 832-734-5201. Text us VIP and we'll give you a coupon the first time you get on our list, and you can go use it to go shopping and grab this ribbon right here. Oh my gosh, look how cute that is. And we're going to finish it off. I like to cover my cable tie in that center with a little bit of the plaid. Now don't be too chinchy on that. Cut a nice strip, about 10-12 inches. The longer this little strip is, the easier it makes your life. I know we don't want to be wasteful, but it just, look how pretty that looks in the middle. That just cleans it right up. I'll put my little knot in here. Just do a couple. You can leave these little tails in the back since we made them longer, that's fine, or you can trim that off. Whatever you want to do, and there she is. Didn't she turn out amazing? We're going to play with the color of the year, and that is purple. And you can see we're using a whole combination of lavenders mixed with a darker purple, and we're pulling that out of all 3 of our ribbons. The bow we're going to make today is all using 1.5-inch ribbons, and we are really going to be pulling out the black for a really great contrast in this bow. And of course, we're going to put some of my signature fun plaid. You know how much I love plaid. We're going to pop that in, and we're going with this gorgeous palette, y'all. Oh man, if you don't want to miss another bow making video, you better get on our text list at 832-734-5201. Just text us VIP. We'll put you on the list, and we'll send you a coupon for your very first order. All right, are you ready? Come on, let's have some fun. I can't wait to play with this ribbon. And what I want to do is start with my base. And when I look at the colors that we're going to use today, I usually like to break up the 2 dominant colors. So this is the black is pretty dominant, so I'm going to break that up. And I want the floral to the front since we're going to be using a bunch of these beautiful florals in a piece together. And I'm going to start with the black and white in the background. So we're going to pull that off to the side. I'm going to load that over here on my spool holder, and start off with my tails. I like for my tails to be, on this particular design, we're gonna go with about 16 inches. So we're gonna go from the 8 to the 8, and then I'm just gonna angle cut this to get this puppy started. And I am going to put in, let's do 3 loops on the back. Let's make this a really gorgeous bow, and I'm gonna go all the way out to 7. So 7 and twist. 7 over here on the right, twist. And we'll keep pulling the ribbon off the spool, y'all. But I am excited to be, making something beautiful with you today, and I hope you're finding the inspiration in what you're watching to make something beautiful for your home. Sometimes as makers, we're always making and giving everything away. As moms, we have a tendency to do that. We're taking care of everybody else. But today I'm giving you permission to make something for you. And I sure hope this inspires you to do that. Because you deserve something beautiful for your home as well. Okay, 3 loops on either side, 2 tails hanging down. And these are both at 16 inches. So now we're ready to put on our next layer. And we're going to build this up right from the back. So our next layer is our plait, okay? And we're going to bring this plait in basically the same way. I'm going to start with a tail that's a little bit shorter, probably about 15, 14. It's a little bit shorter. Then I'm going to hold my 2 fingers in the middle. And now we're going to do 2 loops. All right, and these are going to be a little bit shorter at 6.5. So I'm going to twist that when it comes to the center, and then I'm going to hold it. And 6.5, and twist and hold, and we're going to keep bringing those in till we are flat out loopy. Yeah, it's the only time you're allowed to be loopy. You're not going to get in trouble. I'm sorry for the bad jokes today. Oh, okay, I'm going to cut this at the angle on the left side. So they see how they make that cute little V in the center. I love that little detail. Now we're going to bring in the really pretty floral. So this one's got those pretty purples that are in the plaid, and then we've got that black in the background. And now we're going to bring this baby in. So I'm going to trim that off, and we're going to let her tails go in, and they'll be a little bit shorter. So you're going to see they just kind of stagger up as we're making them. Put my right hand forward, left hand back, hold that in the center. And I'm going to really want to pop this. So I'm going to put in, we're going to do 3 loops this time at 6. So we are going to have a beautiful, really full bow. And it's going to be screaming flower power. Yeah. Because, of course, I love it to have the flowers in it. All right, let's bring the other one over. Twist it. So this recipe on this bow is a 3-2-3. We're going to finish up with 3 loops in the foreground here, and we're just building that right up. If you're not in design school, when I talk about the recipe of a bow, it talks about the layers per side in there. So if you're interested in joining us in class, where every week I'm teaching floral designs and wreath making, swag making, garlands, all that kind of stuff, I would love to have you in there. Come join us at ColeensDesignSchool.com, or if you're already on the text list, just text us school and we'll get you a link so you can come join us in class. Our big beautiful bow is all pretty and ready to roll. I am starting by putting a cable tie behind and just pulling that up to add a little pressure. Once I do that, the fun part is going to begin, where we are going to fluff this puppy up, okay? So I'm going to take these 2 fingers and rotate that behind where I've got that between my fingers. And now just take your time, fluff it up. Fluff it up. The neat thing about being in design school and getting in before it closes for the spring season is you get discounts on your orders. And it allows you to get first access to new products. And of course, every time I put a new video out, it is password protected for you to have access first in design school. And you are able to have exclusive videos just for class. Now I'm going to bring this in and get this tight. All right, now trim off that little piece that's poking up because we don't need that one. And it's up to you at this point what you want to put in the center, but look, this is so fun. So fun and oversized. Bows are just really hot right now, and oversized, lots of loops, lots of whimsical tails, really, really popular. So I think I'm going to use the plaid just in the center because I think we have a lot of nice of the black doing its job in there. I normally would pick probably the background ribbon, but I'm going to use this plaid in there. I think it's going to look great. So I'm just going to cut a little strip of that. 10 or 12 inches, it makes it easy to work with. And you're just going to fold this on itself, get a pattern you like. It's kind of coming forward. I like that darker purple a little bit better. So I'm going to flip it over and get that darker purple. And look, I can even take the edge and let it be up front. Like take the edge of the ribbon. You can have so much fun doing that little detail in the middle of the bow. I love accenting with it. Okay, it's in. Isn't this gorgeous? I can't wait for you guys to see this on the wreath we're using it on. I think you're gonna love it. So make sure you ask here in the comments for the rest where we end up using the bow, and we'll be happy to show you that and give you a link so you can go watch that video too. But wow, it's stunning. I love it. Hey Bloomerinos, I hope you are ready to make this. We're going to make it step by step, and I am going to show you how. Come on, let's have some fun. Okay, y'all, we're going to work with some luscious, really high-end ribbon. So sometimes you might be afraid to play with it, but it is really, really neat. And we're going to try to go less is more with this ribbon so we can get a couple of projects out of it. So what I want you to start with is just coming in and dovetailing the end so we get to use every last little bit of it. And I'm going to try not to lose any of those edges on there. So we'll kind of try to cut that dovetail from the fold up to where we go right to the ball. So we literally don't lose too much, hopefully. All right. And that will help us have a cleaner edge and less fraying. Now I've got like a little bit of a weird cut there. I'm going to fix that, cut that off. And then I'm going to trim any little strings off here. And this is just kind of where the edge was ending. So you can see we've done that here. Now, on this particular bow, I don't need long tails because this stuff's fancy and more expensive. So I'm just going to go with about 12 inches, 14 inches. A little shorter tail than I normally would do, but just so I can get multiple bows out of a roll, okay? So when I come to the center here, I'm going to put it in the bow maker and I'm going to twist it. And it's going to be a super hard twist because it's a nice thick ribbon, but you can see how pretty my tail is here. All right, and these balls are really pretty if you kind of lay them out like that. I think that looks cute too, or you can let them ride in the middle, whatever you want. But I think they're both pretty either way. We're going to keep this really simple. I'm going to come in with a loop here that is at 6 inches. We don't have to have it really big, okay? And I'm not going to make it super loopy, so I can get a nice bit of a twist here. I'm even going to pull it out of the dowels a little and then push it back in so I get a nice twist. Because those balls make it a little tight in that middle portion, okay? Now come on the other side. And we're going 6 over here too. Let these guys come out. And if you have any strings, like there's a little bit of string here, you're going to trim that off right now so we don't see that. Now I want you to come and just press that down into your scrunch and watch that. So it's a really pretty center there. And now I'm going to bring this other side down and we're going to cut this tail to match. So just go straight across, going in between my little ballios. And you might lose that bottom one, but then there should be a knot to where that one won't come off. But if you want to be sure you're going to catch those, and we don't want to lose any, I'm going to just put a little dot of glue here at the bottom. Just using my little dowel with glue on it. And then I just touch that right there so that way I don't worry about these coming off later. I'm just gluing that ball down, okay? Maybe don't glue your finger to it. And I'll double check these we had on the other side too. Just in case those dudes want to come loose. Not today. press that down, and let's do this side too. So a little bit of a string there. There we go. It might be hard to see on camera, but I'm just gluing that last ball down so they don't come off. All right, let's dovetail this side. That's the cutest thing. You don't want to lose the balls. All right. Now, once I've done that, and I've got them both trimmed, I've got those ends protected, they are good to go. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and take this off the bow maker. So you can see it's a simple, beautiful bow, still using the super high-end ribbon. And I'm going to take it off the cable tie here. And all I want you to do is take a shorter cable tie, like 8 inches, run it right beside your dowel. And I could do this in my hand, but I still like using my bow maker because it just kind of holds those twists for me. Okay. Now that I've got this, I'm going to rotate this to the back. I'm going to fluff this up a little, okay? Oh gosh, it's such pretty ribbon, y'all. Gorgeous. Grab another cable tie, and that's going to go in the back. So we're going to use that back here. That's how we'll attach it. And watch your twists. Make sure your twists are coming forward. One tail comes from the front, one comes from the back, and watch that center. Now go ahead, once you're happy, get it tight. Fluff that out, and now we're going to trim off the pokey part. That's happy to see you. Trim that dude off. Now, my last step is covering the center. And depending what kind of look you're going for, you can cover it with all different things. But because I'm going to be using this on a wreath that has like a natural vibe, even a nautical vibe, I'm going to take and use some jute in the center. So we used all these beautiful like tones of the sea or by the ocean, all these beautiful colors. I'm going to take this natural jute and we're going to take and fold it on itself and go down the middle. If you wanted to pull out one of the other colors in here, and the neat thing is this matches this tan on the edge here. So all of that matches the tan with the white on there. And now I'm pulling that out in the middle. But if you wanted to pull out the pink or the green, or use it more like a really festive, instead of that natural vibe, like the Moroccan kind of vibe I'm going for, then pull out one of those colors on here, because we've got hot pink, light pink, teal, blue. We've even got some mustard and yellow. Look how pretty. Or if you want the center to disappear, you can put this color in. But this is a very fancy high-end ribbon, so I don't want to necessarily cut the ribbon itself to go in the middle this time. I want to use something that complements it, right, to keep my cost down. And now out of this very fancy ribbon, I can get several bows. And I just love how this one turned out. And the recipe for this one is just a 1. It's a 1, so you're just doing 1 loop on either side. Super easy, Bloomerinos. I'm going to start off with a base ribbon, and in this case it's going to be the solid because I want it to be the grounding color. And I know I want some lovely tails that really have some length, so I'm going to go 20 inches, so going down the whole length of the bow maker. Then I come to the center and I twist right hand forward, left hand back. And I'm ready to make my loops. We're going to go with 6-inch loops today. So my first one here, and then I'm going to go 6 inches on my right and twist. And we're going to do that twice for our background bow, or our background, the background layer of the bow. Y'all, it's just, you know, like when we're in design school working together, that foundation when you're learning to create is really what makes just beautiful projects. It's just that strong foundation. So that's what I like to teach in design school also. So I'm going to cut these at opposite angles today where they point into the middle. You can do it the other way, whichever way you want, whatever makes you happy. Now I'm going to bring in it's kind of like a plaid with a little pop of black. I love this because I've got a little yellow and purple, and it's going to go with the color scheme that I'm using this bow and the wreath I'm using this with so perfectly. So if you need the link to that project, just let us know here and we'll share it with you. Now I'm going to cut this at the opposite angle where it's pointing in, and I'm going to make this one a little shorter. And now I'm going to come in with 3 loops. So we're going to go 3 loops. We are keeping everybody out at 6 today because we want to have that really fun loopy effect. That's what we're talking about on this bow, where it's really great to incorporate with your florals. Something we've been teaching in design school is how to work on your bow placement and your construction in order to create a completely different look, sometimes with the exact same materials. And that's one of the challenges, and I love to teach that, because over my 26 years of creating and having a business and selling thousands and thousands of wreaths, it really lets me kind of play and experiment with lots of different trends and see what I enjoy the most. And you know what? In the long run, what my customers enjoy the most. Because when I'm selling my finished product, I've got to take that in mind, you know, into account too. Now, I've got my solid purple with 2 loops. Now I've got my pretty print with 3. And guess what? We're not done. Bring that solid from the back in. And we're going to pop off the center and finish it off here. This one's cut already at an angle, so I'm good to go. I'll have that tail be a little shorter. And it's so simple. We're going to add 1 loop, and I want to be able to draw the eye in just a little to the center. So I'm going to go 5. So everybody stayed out at 6 inches except for this very last loop at 5. And I just scrunch that down. Now I'm going to cut that and take that off. So we've got this beautiful bow. It's constructing right together. You're seeing the finished look right on the bow maker. Now, if you don't have the bow maker, let us know in the comments. We'll tell you where to grab that. And I'm going to show you now how to take it off the bow maker, okay? So I use cable ties because they can get a lot tighter than wire. I'm going to run one right beside the dowels here. If you have thinner wire, you can go right through that center of them. And we're going to get it loaded and start kind of cinching it up. All right? Rotate it to the back between my fingers, just like this. Now, before you get it any tighter, you need to go ahead and start fluffing this bow out. So the way I do that is I literally start to separate each layer. See how I layer that together? And we start to just separate that into their little sections. And remember, the only one that's a little shorter is this one, this purple one. Everybody else is the same length. So it gives you this beautiful petal effect, almost like just like the petals in a bloom or a blossom of any type. See how pretty? And then keep that shorter one in there to just go right in the middle of the printed ones. All right, so it's fluffed up and you get that the way you want it, including the tails coming down. That's important. Otherwise, your tails might be out of place. Now I'm going to come in and add my cable tie to the back. Y'all, if you're loving this, you would love design school, because not only do I teach you bow construction, but we do wreaths, trees, garlands, centerpieces, arrangements, everything, because I love all the florals and I love to teach you how to do this exact same process step by step. Look how beautiful this is. And in this particular bow, we don't have to worry about the center because you're not even going to see it in the design we're doing. So I'm going to leave it just naked in the middle, and it is ready to go. Isn't it gorgeous? Hello, Marinos, I'm Khalif. We've never met. Welcome, and I'm here to show you how to make a bow with 2 1.5-inch ribbons. This is going in one of our projects. It's going to need to be a large bow. So even though these are small ribbons, I'm going to show you how to use them in a big way. So we're going to start off with the pink plaid in the back, and if you know me and if we've ever met, you're going to know how much I love plaid and I love all the things plaid. So you're going to see me use it a lot ad nauseum. But you know what? My business, I can do what I want, just like you can on your business. So this plaid's going in the back, and I'm going to take and cut that at an angle because I think you're going to be mad for plaid too. I'm going to go full 20 inches. I need this bow to be big and these tail to be big. Once I put it in, I twist at the center and I'm going to start to build up my loops. So I'm going all the way at 7 inches. I said it was big, it is big. And we're going to do 2 right here on each side and make them long and beautiful. And if you want to know more about bows and wreath making, you can join us in our design school class where we teach every week step-by-step instructions how to create designs and why we're doing what we're doing. Just like here today, I told you we're going to make this bow big, even though it's out of narrow ribbon. that's one of the things that we need to accomplish with this project. And in a design school, we're always teaching a skill or skill set that you can learn to build upon. Now I'm going to bring in the neutral. I like mixing in this. It gives a really nice garden vibe, and it keeps my ribbon just a little more subtle and not too bold. I cut that at an angle because this is going to go on the right side of the bow, and I'm going to make it just about the same size as my other plaid one. So it's still at 20 inches. I twist in the center, and now I'm going to build up from here. So far our recipe is 2 on the bottom, and then we're going to build up from there. I'm still at 6, and we were at 7, so I'm at 6.5. I'm just a little bit smaller, and I hold that in the center when I come over to the other side and twist, and I keep building up layer by layer. So here we go. I'm going to build that puppy up and twist and just keep building them up. And you can measure them on the previous loop, or you can measure them on your bow maker to just keep building up your bow. But kind of we made a nice foundation now for us to put some more plaid on, like we are layering up our layers. And in this design, we're just using 2 ribbons, but in design school, sometimes we might use 3, 4, 5 different ribbons to build up a really gorgeous bow. Now we're going to come on and layer the next layer. It's going to be the plaid again. So I'm going to cut this at an angle if we're working on the right side. Bring that to the middle. This time I shortened up the tail a little, so it's a little shorter. And now I'm coming in, I'm going to go shorter even here. We were at 7, then we were at 6.5. So let's go 5.5 on this one, and we're going to do 2 on either side. So you just kind of start stacking your loops up, and then we will take and start to build out our design. Ooh, that's looking good. I'm loving this. Scrunch it, and then take and trim this one down, and these just need to be opposite. I like for them to make that chevron shape when they come together. All right, so our final recipe is a 2-3-2 is what you call this, and we always call it from one side of a bow. And a quick story is we had to come up with a way to name our bows, because I had my mom making bows, I had employees making bows when I was selling thousands of wreaths every year in my Etsy shop. So I had to have a way to communicate what bow we were making. So I would have said, hey, this is a 2-3-2, and it starts at 7, and here's your 2 ribbons. They're both 1.5s. So it was kind of inside lingo that we now use in design school, and I like to share with you guys too, so you understand we're just talking about one side of the bow, and that kind of helps prevent confusion. But if you're ever confused on one of our videos or classes, or even if you're in design school already and you need some help more in depth, I'm here for you. Just ask here in the comments. We are here to help you have success in your designing, and your journey with creating is really important to us. So you can see here, I'm going to start to lay out my pattern, and depending what you choose, that's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to lay out your pattern so you can separate and create all these beautiful layers in this design. And that includes bring those tails down, but you see how pretty this is? This is just gorgeous. So once I'm happy with it, I'm going to go around the back, and we are going to add our cable tie to the back. And that's how we'll be attaching this to the wreath base. Get that nice and tight. And I'll trim off this. Whoops, you don't try to cut the really thick parts, silly. I'm sorry, I got a little cut happy. And then I'm going to come in and cover the center, and you've got a couple of choices. You can either use the plaid or the brown. And in this case, see how the plaid is on the top layer? That means I'm going to use the plaid on there, because then it'll kind of make the center disappear. For what we're going to use this in what project, I don't need the center to really be definite. So I'm going to cut me a strip of the ribbon and just fold it on itself over here, and then we'll run that right down the middle. Here's our little strip. Run it down the center, and now it'll make that center clean and polished, but it really won't draw that much attention to it. If in your design you want to draw more attention, then you can definitely use the brown in it, and it will kind of give it that more solid looking center. But we're making this specifically loopy so we get a lot of movement in that bow, and look how cute that is. We're going to start off with our carrot ribbon right here in the background. I'm going to pop it in first, and I know for this bow I want a really long tail, so I'm gonna go for a full 20-inch long tail, like a big one. Bring it in here and bring that right to the center and twist. Okay, so that's how I'm gonna get started. Now down here, since this was the beginning of a new roll, I'm gonna cut this at an angle right here to the right side, so it comes down at an angle. And I've got a really good start there for the first tail on the right side. Now we're gonna make the left side of the bow. So I'm gonna come on over here and we're gonna start with a loop first. And I'm gonna go pretty big. This is gonna be for a really big wreath. So I wanna go 7 inches. And yes, if you're gonna wanna see what video we use these bows in, you gotta ask in the comments. You know, we'll get you the link and get you where you need to go. So I'm gonna twist now. Now I'm gonna do 2 loops of this one with the white. Now, you know what? Let's just stick to one. We wanna put a whole lot of ribbons in today. So let's just stick to one. We can always add some more when we come back. So I'm gonna come back to the ends of the tails, and now I'm gonna cut this one the opposite direction. So we got a great starting point here. We've got 1 and 1 on each side. Now let's come in with the next layer. So the next layer, we're gonna use the black and white because I wanna really pop with the drama in this piece. So we're gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna angle cut it on the right side. And then we'll come in and make this tail. I'm gonna do it about the same length because I want them to kind of be dramatic in the back. And then I'm gonna twist right here in the center. And now these loops, I'm gonna make 2 this time. They're gonna be a little smaller at 6 inches. Or you could go 6.5. Let's do 6.5. The neat thing is when you're making your own bow, guys, you can play with different sizes and kind of experiment. When I'm teaching bows in design school, that's what I'm always teaching. Like, I'm your guide. I'm going to teach you the when, the how, the why, and then you can use those techniques to build up your own design. And pretty soon, you're going to be pretty good at what you do. I'm going to come on this side, and we're going to have 2 per side. Now, I scrunch it when I'm done doing loops, okay? And the neat thing is I'm going to see it build right before my eyes. See how dramatic the black and white is? It always looks really cute. And then in here, we're going to pick up the color of the black and white also. I love that. All right, let's cut this tail about the same length. This one's going to go down this way. So every time you're doing a tail, you're going to alternate the angle cuts. Next layer. So the next layer, we're going to come in with the bright orange. That's coming in next. So the solid bright orange. You guys, all of these supplies are available on Khalees.com. We'll have a supply list for this bow itself. And like I said, the supply list will have the links to any of the projects we've used these products in. And you're able to see how to make your own, just like this. Now I'm coming in with 2 loops right on top of where we put the check ribbon before. And these are a little bit shorter. It's going a little bit shorter. And I'm going to build it up. Twist in that center. And then twist. And then when you're all finished, we're going to scrunch when we're bringing it back home here. All right, and I'll trim that piece off. Okay, so now I think it's time to bring in a little bit of our gold. We're gonna have a gold as an accent in this wreath. So this gives us this really cute natural vibe when we put this gold jute netting in. I love how that feels. So we're gonna add that to the next layer and start to put it right in. I'm gonna come to the center and twist. And now I'm going in at 5 inches. So I keep getting a little smaller. Oh, look how cute that is. I love it. And we got a little pop of the gold. See how we went from dramatic to soft? Oh, I love that. All right, we'll trim that off on this side, continuing with those same rules. Now, I've got a little of this kind of classy, it's kind of like a diagonal check going on. And I'm going to trim it here. It's like an argyle almost. And I'm going to cut it at an angle. And then we're going to put a little pop of this in right here in the foreground. Now, one of the things I love to do is bring a ribbon from the background into the foreground, and we'll do that in a little bit different way. I'm going to go right a little bit smaller than our gold that we popped in with. Just layer that right on top. How fun is this? I love all these layers. Okay, so now when we get ready to do the center ribbon, we're going to use that to be this ribbon in the back. So we kind of pull in that carrot design again, or we could use the gold, or we could use the black and white. Oh, I have such a plan, but I think I know which ribbon's going to win. Let me know in the comments which ribbon you think will look really cool in the center. Now we're going to take this off the bow maker, so I'm going to pull it up and go ahead and run the cable tie right down the middle of, it's kind of going to go down the middle, but right now it has to run up the side. This little ribbon's trying to get away from me. You cannot escape me. You're going in my bow, baby. Add a little pressure, and then just pull your bow maker off to the side. We're gonna go ahead and fluff this dude up. Look at this. And start to shape it out. Okay, and however you want it to be shaped, here is your opportunity to do that and space it out really stinking cute. So don't just pull it tight and be done. You have to make the magic happen. And make sure those twists, those tails are really looking good. Look how cute this is gonna be. Have you decided what's going in the middle? Have you put it in the comments yet? Because I'm gonna be checking. I wanna see if you and I are in the same wavelength. All right, trim that cable tie off in the back and let's come in the center. And the center, I think I'm gonna go with the black and white check. It's just such a dramatic finish and it's gonna look really good in there. So I don't need a whole lot as far as width, so I can just split this down the middle, get about 10 inches of it, and you get a nice little strip like this. And then you could save that other half of the strip for another bow. I'll put that off to the side for just a second, and here you're going to take and just fold it, and you're going to get the cutest little stripe. That's going to run right down the middle and finish out your bow. Oh my gosh, it's super cute. Look at this. So we've got carrots, we've got check, we've got our touch of gold, which is really fun, and I love it. So once you're happy with that being in the center, just pop in a couple of knots here, and then you are good to go. Trim it off, and voila, your bow is done. Oh, y'all, I cannot wait for you to see this in the wreath we're going to use it on. Hey, Blue Merinos, do you see all this purple? We are going to make a fantastic bow with these gorgeous ribbons. We're making this one to go on a wreath we made with a beautiful floral base, just gorgeous wildflower look. So we want that bow to be really dramatic and really poppin'. So you can see we have all different shades of purple, and we're gonna mix those together, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. And don't forget, wherever you're watching this video, make sure you've taken a moment to like and subscribe and follow. That way, you'll see all the notifications that come out from each individual platform too. I'm gonna start here with this kind of lavender purple. In this particular bow, we have taken and we're mixing in lots of pretty colors together, but they're all purples. So that makes it a lot of fun when we're creating our finished look. And we kind of layer them up on our bow maker. This is something I'm teaching every week in design school, so I would love to show you how to do it also. So come join us in class anytime. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of what we call a funky bow. So this bow is going to have tails that go up and down. So it's not a one-directional bow, and that's a lot of fun. So my first loop comes in at 8 inches, and I'm going to have that loop go up. Now, I'm coming over here, and I'm going to make my left loop side at 6.5 inches. And I'm going to twist it, and we're going to do that on both sides. We got a great base started here. And I like my tails at 8 inches for most funky bows. You guys, I have been doing bows on the Easy Bow Maker here online for 4, 5, 6 years already. This is a device I've used since the 90s, a long time, and it works really great to hold your bow, but it doesn't make bows for you. You still have to come in and put the designs together. So I hope that these type of videos help you learn to layer up your ribbons. So I started here with a 2.5 wide on the back, and now I'm gonna start to layer it up. Now I want a really soft feminine look with this, so I am gonna use a little bit of my darker purple, but not quite as much. And I do wanna bring in my plaid too. But if you notice, these are darker colors, so we wanna separate them with the lighter when we're laying this out. We also have to take into consideration the actual size of the ribbons. So once again, that's stuff I teach in design school, so it would help you learn to layer your piece as you're putting it all together. So I'm gonna put my next tail in and twist it. Isn't that great? And I'm gonna go ahead and make my loopies. My loopies. Don't feel loopy, but I wanna make them. All right, I'm gonna go in shorter now, and we are gonna go at 6 inches. So we were at 7, now we're gonna do the 6. And every time I pull that back, I've gotta hold it in the middle so nothing goes walking on me. But if you're new to making bows and you're like Clee make it look so easy. Just know I've made thousands of bows. I'm gonna have a head start. But I promise you, over time, you're gonna be able to do it too. You can do it. And even if you're not a wreath maker, bow making can just add so much to different things. Of course, the holidays are a natural fit with bow making, but anytime you're doing gift giving or you want to embellish something you have in your home, doing a nice little sweet bow on it is just a great way to kind of up the look of it a little. So I'm dovetailing those. That means I'm cutting this little V in each section. And you can see here, I'm gonna fluff out this ribbon really pretty, and I'm layering out, and my tails work opposite each other here. See how they're opposite? That's what we want going on. Okay, so pretty so far. Now, let's add some softness back in. And I am going to bring in my lavender again. And we're gonna pop another little layer in of lavender. And not only do we can stagger our loop sizes, but we can stagger our tails. And I just always am talking, I really ad nauseum about depth and dimension. And not only do we need that in our wreath making, but we need it. We need it in our bow making. It's super important. So you can see here, I'm layering them up too. Because it's a little shorter, it's so cute. Take and scrunch that, and now I'm gonna trim this side. You can see I'm layering in my tail links and my loop links. So I get that nice variation. And I brought a little of the softness back in right here. Okay, this is looking good. Now, let's get the drama back going. Let's bring in that darker purple. Ooh, it's so rich and gorgeous. We want to put this one in next. Let's put in the dark purple. Ooh, juicy. This ribbon is so pretty because it's got this gorgeous sheen to it. Which, oh yes, I love that. And I'm going to take this one and we're going to keep that tail nice and short, and we're going to mix this puppy in the next layer. We're going to build it right up. And we're going to do one on either side of the light purple. So we're going to actually do two per side here. See how we're going to just pop that in? Isn't that fun drama? I love it. In design school, we're doing a whole series on roller coaster ribbon right now, which is something we like to bring in every year to revisit in the spring and talk about how to use ribbon to really create great depth and dimension. And here we're doing it today right now on a bow, and then what we're learning in class is how to create that dimension using the ribbon throughout the florals. And y'all, if you haven't seen yet, we'll be posting some of the finished projects, and I can't wait for you to see the ribbon movement. I mean, it's amazing. Now, our classic check always just brings us right back to just that classic vintage look. Like it's garney. It's got that cool spring feel we're looking for here. So we're going to pop just a little bit of this in. Do our last little piece. We'll keep that tail short, maybe a little bit longer. And now I'm going to come in with my final loop in the middle. So we kind of create almost a bow that functions like a flower. Not that it's symmetrical in any way, but it just got this precious little cute little look. And it's built up from that center popping out. And I'm going to take and dovetail this one. And now we're going to do the hardest part, which is take this off of the bow maker. That sometimes is just the hardest part of it all. Take a cable tie. You can use that or a wire. And I'm going to run right beside my dowel, okay? And I'm going to bring it straight up. I'm kind of shifting it towards the middle while I'm doing that. I'm going to add a little pressure, but not all the pressure. Just enough to hold it. Okay, once I've done that, rotate this around the back and you're ready to start fluffing her up. Start to fluff her up, and what that means is I take each section of the bow and start to separate it into sections. So that way we can really enjoy each of the beautiful loops you have made. See how pretty they are? We've made all these great loops, we've layered our colors, and really told a story with this bow. Not only do we want to tell stories with our floral arrangements and our collections we create, but everything we make can tell a story, and it can invoke a feeling. And whenever you're able to do that, it just makes your work so beautiful, and it has depth in more ways than one. All right, since I've got it all nice and fluffed, I'm going to flip it over and we're going to add a wire to the back. In this case, I'm going to add a cable tie because I'm going to be putting this in a wreath when I'm all done. And if you want to know what wreath we're going to be using in it and you want to see that project and how to make it, just ask for the link in the comments. And if you need the links to these ribbons, because you're one of our purple people, we have so many people who love purple. So if you've never made anything or are really played with the purple colors, the lavender is so popular. There's lots of, I call them purple people eaters. Not after the song, but these people love purple everywhere. They love to wear it. They love to decorate with it. So these purple people, you got to make something for them. Now, it's up to you what color you want to put in the middle, but I'm going to come in with the lavender. So the lavender is just a nice, really pretty neutral, and I don't need a full piece, so I usually split it down the middle, and that way I can do a couple of different centers out of one section of ribbon. If it's a more narrow ribbon, then you're going to have to just go ahead and use it all, but in this case, we'll be able to fold it on itself, and we're doing that to get a nice finished edge. So I just slid it off the table, and you can see we got a nice little strip here. And the idea is we're going to tie this strip right down the center to give this beautiful center, and once again, that creates depth. And because we use this same color that was right here on that smaller loop, it really gives the impression that this is a very polished, finished, beautiful bow. Beautiful bow. I love this so far. So cute. So flip it around. We have to tie the knots in there. I'll go for 2 if I can get them. 2 just hand over hand knots. Just take and twist them over, and the knot is in. Trim off those tails. Yep. Look at this. Beautiful. Start off the funky bow process. So I'm going to add the ribbon to the spool holder here. And I'm going to go ahead and dovetail this. So I go through different stages where I enjoy dovetailing, and other times when I prefer to do more of an angled cut. We're going to dovetail this one. So I've got that going out to 8 inches. I'm going to bring that to the center and twist, all right? And then I'm going to come over here and make this loop at about 6. 6 twists. So my tails are 8, my loops are 6. Okay? And we're twisting. I'm going to do 2 tails here. It's going to make a nice sharp looking bow. Our plan is to use this bow on the bunny wreath we're making. So I want to make sure it's got a nice foundation of the burlap kind of look in the back. All right. And we're going to cut that at an angle, cut down to the angle, and that gives you your first leg of the bow. Okay, got a nice foundation going. Now I'm going to come in with the pink. And I am going to do the pink. I think we'll dovetail them also, of course, but I think what we'll do is have the pink kind of just lay right over that last tail. Isn't that pretty when you layer them up together? So cute. And we're going to do these at 5.5, so a little bit shorter. 5.5. Twist when you get to the center. I'm going to loop it back around. 5.5. Twist. Okay, and I'm going to do 3. 3 of these loops on each side. Okay, and depending what side you're on this side, my right hand goes forward and my left hand goes back. And then when I'm all done, I scrunch it, meaning I don't need to twist it again, okay? And we'll come in and trim that just a couple inches shorter. Get a little fold on it. I love it. Super cute. And fluff this all out. Oh, isn't that beautiful? That's so beautiful. So we got a nice layer. We've got 2 and then 3, and we're going to come back with our final touch of this ribbon on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dovetail it again, and we'll have this tail be a little bit shorter. I like it to be probably about 7. It's going to be more towards the foreground. Bring it in and twist it. All right, great. And now I'm just going to do 1 loop on each side at 5. Okay, and we'll just finish out layering this beautiful bow. So I call this a funky bow. The recipe we call on Cleese.com, we call that basically a 2 and then a 3. We did 3 pink and then we did 1. So it's called a 2-3-1. And if you're not familiar with why we number our bows like that, it's because when I was selling thousands of wreaths on Etsy a year, I communicate a way to our team members who help make the wreaths. Also, I had to communicate what the bow looked like to able to reproduce it. So that's how we came up with that lingo. And we just call it by half the bow. All right, it's time to get the bow off the bow maker, and that's the most difficult part. So just slide the cable tie underneath. I like to use the cable tie instead of a wire, and we'll get some pressure, okay? Now, you're happy with how that is. I'm going to rotate this back between my fingers, and I'm going to fluff this dude right out. And that means I'm going to separate the tails from the loops and get a nice, full, beautiful bow. I love how this gives us this little kind of rusticy but classy look. Just, that is such a fun look for Easter and spring. Once you have it fluffed out the way you want it, you flip it over. And because we're using this on a wreath, we use the cable tie in the back. Okay? I'm going to pull that tight. Trim this little part off with some wire cutters. And then you can choose what you want in the middle. Because our wreath is predominantly pink, we're going to use this on. I'm going to pull out the pink. I think that'll look cute. And we do need a piece in the middle because that's what covers up the mechanics that we use right in here to be able to make this bow. So I'm going to bring it right down the middle. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? Isn't that cute down the middle? Precious. Okay. I love it. So I'm going to pull that tight, and then we have that one ready to use. Hey Bloomerinos, look at the cute ribbons here. We are mixing pink with bright yellow, and we are going to have a blast creating some bows out of this ribbon. Both of these are 1.5 inch ribbons, and we are going to mix these together to make the greatest bow. So let me show you how. We're going to start with the yellow on the bottom of our bow, so we'll load this up. And you'll notice this is narrow ribbon. This is 1.5 inch. And our first bow we're doing is going to have a longer tail. So I'm going to do the whole length of my bow maker. This is 20 inches. And I'll just cut that at an angle. Hey, if it's your first time being here, thanks for coming in. We're so glad you're here. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow wherever you're watching. And you don't want to miss another video, of course. You'll want to get on our text list. This bow, we're going to start the loops at 6 inches. So I put it out to 6 and I make sure it's nice and loopy. Then I come out to the other side. And we're going to do a couple of loops right now. And we are going to make this one with 2 on each side. I think that would be really sweet. This is a very simple bow, but very effective for a lot of my designs. And my design school students really like it because it's easy, clean, and neat. So we start out there with 2 on either side, and both tails are at 20 inches. Now spread these out. Now we're ready to put the next layer on, and that's going to be our pink. And here we picked out a really cute pink, and most importantly, it's got a little bit of yellow in it, so it can pop out and line up really well against this yellow when I pair them together. See how pretty that is together right there? Now, I'm going to make that about the same length as the other tail, maybe a couple inches shorter. Then I'm going to come in and we are going to put on 5.5, so a little shorter here. And we're going to put in 1 loop on either side. And I'm going to scrunch that down. It's a very simple bow. Like I said, simple but effective. Y'all, and grab a spot on the text list at 832-734-5201. Just text us. And we'll make sure we send you out a text whenever we put out new content. So I'm going to run this right beside the ribbon, and we'll take it off the bow maker. Now, the project I'm going to use this on is going to require me to put this into some floral foam. So that means I'm going to put a floral pin on the back end of the bow as opposed to putting a cable tie or a wire in the back. So I slide the floral pin in, and I'm going to pull this tight. And then I'll just trim this off. And here's what we got. We got a sweet little bow. Nothing too complicated. Now, what I want to do is decide what I want in the middle. I can pick pink or I can pick yellow, and I think pink would be really cute. What I'm going to do is I want to have a little extra tails. So I'm going to cut this double the length I normally would. So instead of 10 inches, we're going to go with like 20. I'll cut that at an angle. And then right here at the middle, take and just fold it a little tighter. Okay, fold it on each other. But leave all the other tails the same. Come down the middle. We're going to have to come down the center of that floral pin right there. And now we're just going to take and tie a nice little knot here, making sure the fronts of the ribbons are in the front of the bow and the backs of the ribbons are behind. Okay. Now let me turn it around. And what we did is we just added a clean, neat center, but we added some more tails when we did that. So if you guys want to see where we use this bow in its finished project, just let me know in the comments. We'll give you a link to that. And you can head over to the supply list. It'll always have the links to the ribbons we're using and the project that we end up using the bow in. Hey Blue Burritos, guess what? It's bow time. Let's make a bow. And this one's going to be carrot themed. Oh, it's so fun to do the carrot theme at Easter with bunnies. It's just a great little addition to your collection. And when we've got this cute little carrot ribbon, we are going to be making this bow to go in a kit. So if you want to see that video and where we use the bow, make sure you ask in the comments. We will take care of you. And better yet, grab a spot on our text list, because on there, you will definitely get notified whenever we put a new video out. And you can always have access to all of our new goodies coming out. And we don't want you to miss a thing. This is going on a piece, it's a little bit larger. So I want to make sure that this design is large and in charge, okay? So I'm going to start off with a little bit longer than a 20-inch tail. I'm going to go a little bit longer, probably like 22. And I just took and just cut that at an angle right there to get started. And so a little bit longer than the bow maker would be about 22 inches. And I'm going to come right to the center. And then I'm going to go right hand forward, left hand back, and then just pull this back right there. Now, what I'm going to do next is go ahead and make my loops. And the way the loops are going to work is you have to decide how big you want them, but I like this to look very loopy and the way I want to do it. So basically have a lot of movement. So I'm going to go 6.5, which is nice and open in here. And we're going to put 3 loops on the back. Okay, 6.5, so you twist, and let's build this puppy right up. Oh, she's gonna be adorable. I think you guys are gonna love this one. It's a really fun, simple project, so make sure you know where to go see the project. And we will definitely be putting that on all of our socials so you don't miss a thing, of course. But sometimes we make big, beautiful, over-the-top florals, and other times, you know, we let the bow be the star of the show, and that's what's going to happen with this design. The bow is going to be so stinking cute. So I'm going to take and cut that one at an angle. And now I'm going to bring in my next layer of ribbon. So that one is going to be this one. It's going to be the jute. We're going to bring that in to go right mixed in. So I'm still going to cut the ribbon at an angle on the right side here. And let's go in. I'll make it just a couple inches shorter, so probably about 20 inches, just a little bit of variation there. I'm going out now to 6 inches, so a little bit shorter. Let's do that on all the sides. And I'm working a couple loops in. A couple of loops in here. Isn't that great? It's coming together quick. Y'all, in design school, when we do projects that have bows, I make sure to have the step-by-step video always there. And the neat thing is if you see a bow that we did in one of our projects in class, and you want to make that bow to go on another project, you can look up that in our design school class. So it just makes it really, really so easy for them to access what they need to make different projects. And I kind of like to call that, you know, if you were little and you ever played paper dolls, or even you dressed up your Barbie, you know, things would come in sets, but you could mix and match. Like you could take something from one set of clothing and add it to the other, right? And that's exactly what we do in design school. Yes, you can do the project exactly as you see it, or you can take and mix and match. So design school closes at the end of this month, so I want to make sure you get a spot in our class before it closes for this spring season. We would love to have you. I'm going over to 5 inches now with the last loop, and I did a little bit shorter on that tail. It's about 18 inches. And we're going to kind of finish it out right there. And that's so cute. I just love that. And I'm going to cut this one at an angle. And then we are ready to take it off the bow maker. Okay, so grab a cable tie, and they're not just for electrical, y'all. Cable ties, we love to use them in all of our creating and crafting, seasonal or year-round. They're very, very handy. I'm going to bring that into the center, get a little pressure, and just pull that around to the back. And before it gets too tight, you're going to want to put your back cable tie in. And then I go ahead and just fluff up this whole piece. And the way I fluff it is I give everybody their own space in this design. That's one of the things you learn in design school, is how to use that space and create lines to give you the sense of depth. The more depth you have in a design, the more rich it looks, the more sophisticated, all that good stuff. All right, I like it how it is fluffed. Now I'm gonna get that tight, turn this, and then cut that off. For the very last step, what I like to do is cover the center. Oh, y'all, this looks great. And as far as covering the center, that's up to you what you want to do, but I'm gonna go with the brown. You could also pick out like a bright green or anything that you want, but I just find it easy to use one of the ribbons that's already in the bow. And look how polished that, it just finishes it off really nice, clean and crisp, which is what we're doing with this bow. It's a very, it's loopy, but it's very defined. Okay, and I'll just cut off these little tails. I'm not going to leave those in today. And look at it. Isn't it great? It's super cute. Do you ever have some pieces of ribbon left that you're like, what am I going to do with these short rolls of ribbon? And I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to find pieces of that ribbon that coordinates and goes together, like the collection we're using today. And you're going to make the cutest little scrap bow, and it's really easy to do. And I'm going to show you how. So I'm going to start off by grabbing some ribbons that coordinate together. Here I'm working with a really pretty purple color palette. You can see I've got dark and light and check and just a bunch of different colors with purple in there. So they're different shades of the same color. And I'm going to start off with a base that's kind of really bold. So I'm going to start with this. It's going to be a cute little plaid. And I've cut it at about 12 inches long. A regular standard bow we would go from 12 to 14 on both sides of the bow. So we're going to do that here. Okay. So I've just dovetailed both ends. So that means I just fold it and cut up to make the little dovetail. And that's going to start at the base. And all I've got to do is just build up from there. So I'm going to cut another one. And even if you don't know like the order you want to put it in, that's okay. Just start taking your scraps and cutting them. We're going to start with everybody at the 12 inches to start, because we're going to build out a little base. I think you're going to like this kind of bow. We've done this a couple of times, but I don't think we've done one for the spring season before. It's fun to do these for different seasons, and you're going to find you're going to have pieces of ribbon left that, you know, you need to use up. And you can add these little bows or big bows to almost anything. And they kind of give you that different look. All right, so now I've got that one done. So I've got the check. So here comes all our 4 patterns. Now this is all wired ribbon, so you can, you know, make it go up or down or move it around. It's got movement to it. Let's bring our purple in. All right, we're going to bring it in. I'm going to trim it. So once I kind of get my size, I just build up from there. Now let's start to layer it once I get my dovetails done. And we're going to layer this up. So let's say, okay, maybe I'll put the solid in the back, and then I'm going to crisscross it just exactly how I want it here. All right, and I can kind of see a pattern starting. All right, now, so as you start to build up your little crisscross right here, then we can take and pinch it in the middle and kind of see how our bow is going to look. Okay, we need some more. That's not enough. So let's cut some more pieces, okay? And we'll start to lay them out again. And let's do 2 of every piece, and let's see how that works. And the cool thing is you don't have to make any of these the same. We're going to just layer it up. Now, that's kind of a good background base that we just saw. So what if we started making them a little bit shorter, take off about 1 inch, and doing the same thing for our second piece. Now, if you want to know where we're going to use this bow in the end, let me know in the comments, and we'll share with you the link of that video where we end up using the bow. But right now, why do you think we're going to make these a little more narrow? Not narrow, but shorter. Why are we going to make them a little bit shorter than the first piece? So I'm going to give you a second to kind of pop some answers there in the comments. I don't want you to get all worried about measuring perfectly on this. This is like a scrap bow. It's supposed to be a lot of fun, and we don't have to worry about it just being perfect. So every time I cut a piece, I'm just cutting those little dovetails into the back. And we want them a little bit shorter. So see how this one's a little shorter? Perfect. We're going for about 1 inch shorter altogether. And I'm dovetailing this one. All right, now let's do one more of the check. It's going to be so fun. And, oh, I dovetailed it first before I even cut it. That's because I'm getting brave. Let me see, right about there. All right, so all my different pieces are cut. And now I've got 2 of each piece. One that we did at 12 inches, and the other one we did, I would say, at about 10 or 11, something like that. So take your shorties and pull them off. So we're going to use those. Did you guess why we're going to use them? We're going to use those in the front, or I would call in design school the foreground of the design, the foreground of the bow, the front of the bow. Because they're shorter, they're going to let that background layer show up. So you're going to see that right now. All right, let's turn these and start to build our base. So I'm going to put a purple in. I'm going to layer this one kind of crisscross. I like that. And then I like a little separation between the drama colors. So I'm going to take and put a nice check in. Okay, and just keep gently twisting them. Crisscrossing, rather, not really twisting. And then I'm going to bring this one. How about this one? We kind of go like this. Oh my gosh, we're building this up so cute. All right, let's put on the next layer. Let's go. So now I want, since I have this purple here, just kind of make sure you're going across it. Okay, that's a little different right there, right? And then what about this? We want to go opposite this one. Ooh, we are making this so stinking cute. And then let's have this little check go opposite that one. And then this purple, maybe we'll work it right here. All right, now that we've done that, we kind of created almost like a star on the table. And the kind of the trickiest part will be to start to kind of move them just a little and start to pinch and gather this right here in the center. Just pinch and gather. Things are going to shift a little bit because you got to get them either to the right or the left of the center here. All right, once you start to pinch and gather, you're going to create the middle of your stinking cute bow. Look at this. Look at it popping up already. Oh my goodness. Look how cute. And all of a sudden, this little trim, like spare ribbon bow is adorable. Now I'm fluffing a little bit here, but make sure you're happy with how you've got it, and look how cute that is. Now, you need to grab a wire or a cable tie or a pipe cleaner, whatever you want, whatever you prefer to use, and we got to make sure we're grabbing through that center and getting it nice and tight. All right, so I'm going to use my little green cable tie, one of my favorite things to use. Add some pressure, get it on there, and you can put it pretty tight. And now I've got to fluff it back out again. Look how cute this is going to be. So perfect. And what a great use for all that ribbon that's just kind of like, you've just got little bits left. Oh my goodness, y'all. So stinking cute. Now, trim off this part of the cable tie. Right here, I'm just using a little wire cutter to cut that off. And I think for your last step, you don't have to. You could use it more like a pom-pom and pull these up forward. but I'm going to spread it out more like a bow so it kind of keeps that bow shape I love. Like this. Y'all, I hear Nori. Nori's telling us, Mama, I'm here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take and add a little ribbon to the center. That's just one of my signature moves, and I think this pretty dark purple would be beautiful in there. And we're going to use that to cover our little cable tie. We don't need a whole lot. I'm doing about 6 inches. And I'll just take and fold it over. And I'm just folding it like this to get a little strip. I did 3 folds this time to get a little bitty strip. And I'm going to tie that. That's so cute. I'm going to tie that right in the middle. I love this. I hope you try this kind of scrap bow where you can make your own. You don't have to use scraps. We can plan on this from the beginning. If you love this purple color combo and you're one of our purple people, we'll have a supply list so you can get this exact ribbon right here. But look at that. Precious, adorable. I can't wait for you to try this simple bow. And if you've never made a bow before, this might be the perfect one. Think of all the combos you could do in there. That would be a blast. You could mix so many patterns. You're going to have fun. We are going to make a funky bow with some of the ribbons we've used before because we're going to make a wreath that has 2 bows on it. So I want them to kind of coordinate but not be identical. So I'm going to show you how to make a funky bow. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my really dramatic black and white ribbon and we're going to put that in the back of the design because it's a good solid anchor in the back. So I'm going to trim my ribbon here at an angle. This was a piece we had used for the center, so I'll keep that off to the side. Now, here, I think I could go, you can either dovetail them or you can cut them at an angle, and I'm just going to cut them at an angle on this one. So it's 8 inches to the center, and I'm going to twist, and we're going to let that dude go up. So the first tail is going up. Now I'm going to come in, and we're going to do our loops. My loops are going to be at 7 inches to start, so way out and big. So twisting at the center and to keep that nice and loopy. That's critical to getting a nice bow that's not so super flat. Okay, and I'm twisting and we're gonna do 2. We're gonna go big and bold with 2. Why? Because we want to, right? Why? Because that's our business and we can do it. 7 inches on either side and scrunch. 1 up, 1 down, and now the tails are at 8. I like to keep my tails at 8. Okay, fluff it out, fluff it out. Start to make its shape really important when you build this up. Oh, that's the worst noise as it comes off that spool holder. All right, we're gonna take our other 2.5. We're gonna go the other side now because we want the tails to kind of be equal. And so, look, this works perfect. These are already cut at opposite angles and that's all you're asking for when you do that. So I'm gonna go at 8 inches, bring it to the middle and twist it, and that's gonna pop up. Now I'm going to start to make these loops, and I want to do them at, this one a little shorter. We were at 7, so 6.5 now. Come to that center and twist, and 6.5, and I'm going to scrunch it down, and we're just going to have 1 loop. So we just nicely broke up the check with this one that has the cute carrots, and I'm going to cut these opposite of each other. Oh, cut it a little long. Sometimes just leave that a little longer. Don't even trim it. It gets in the wreath because sometimes it works out fine. Don't get too crazy about it being matchy on the tails. We want to try to have it close, but don't go too crazy. Okay, next I want to pop in the bright orange. I like it next because it looks really good going up against the black. So think about where you're going to layer these tails up. In design school, I'm always talking about why we were putting colors together and what we're doing. So in this case, I like that drama that's being created with the black. And my next more dramatic ribbon is this orange with the pop of color. So I'm going to pop that on next. And we're going to twist. And we're going to do 2 again. 2 of these. We're just going to lay it right on top of the black and white. And I'm going to make it a little bit shorter as we pile them in. And make nice solid twists in the middle so that ribbon has that direction just to be bossed around by you. You need it to be bossed around by you. Got to tell it where it's going. And then this tail is going to lay on top of the black also. So we've got a tail going up, a tail going down. I do like to cut those a little bit shorter just so they kind of layer in. See, it's just a little bit shorter. That's perfect. Now we're going to come on the other side, and this time we're going to put the argyle. It's like a cool plaid. All right, so let me check my cuts. That works over there fine. We're gonna bring that one in and twist. Oh, I love it. And I love how this ribbon sits up pretty. And now we're gonna come in here with one in the center, and I'm gonna do it at about, I think we're coming in a little bit more. We're close to 5.5 now. And I'm gonna scrunch that down. And then the last ribbon we're gonna put in is our gold, because we are using a touch of gold in this design, so we wanna make sure it's also represented in the bows in a nice subtle way. Look how pretty. Oh, cute. All right, so I'm gonna bring this one, and it's gonna go over the gold, over the orange side here. And this ribbon, I don't worry about any particular cut because it's got a, just kind of a different edge. And then I'm gonna do 2 of these, and I'm just gonna do them the same length I did the orange and white ribbon. So let's bring this in. Oh, how pretty. Now, I'm pretty sure we're gonna use black in the center. We did that on the coordinating ribbon that goes with this one. That was a little too long. And I like that. I like that really classic finish. I think we're gonna do that again. So I'm gonna trim that. And then let's come in here and start to take it off the bow maker. So I'm gonna take my cable tie, run it right down the center here, and bring my fingers up. Get this tight. And then what we're gonna do is go ahead and do all the fluffing. I love this bow. It's so pretty. I mean, it's got this cool classic look to it. And I love all the layers we created. So we call this a funky bow just because it's got tails going up and down, and it's got ribbons and loops and tails. It's a combo of both. Where normally on most bows, our tails are only going to go down. On this one, it's a little bit different. In design school, we even teach on how to do roller coaster ribbons and wreaths and my own techniques for creating these different types of looks. Because I've sold so many thousands of wreaths online, it really helps you to know all the tips and tricks, not just to keep you busy and make you do extra work just because you can. I'm all about teaching you how to make it fast, make it beautiful, make it prettier than you did yesterday, and keep getting better at what you're doing. So this is our strip of ribbon we had left from our other bow, and all it is a 2.5 inch piece of ribbon slit in half, okay? And now I take and just trim it down by folding it. I fold it into a nice little cute strip where I've got the black and white pattern pretty equal, and I use that right down the middle. And what that does is gives me a nice polished center and a nice focal point. Now, this is a thin piece. Like, say I want to go fatter in the middle, we can. All we got to do is just cut another little piece, and we can fold it a little fatter. So let me show you that real quick too. So instead of trimming this, I can leave it full, okay? We want 10 to 12 inches. It's just easier to work with and tying those knots. Now, take it and fold it on itself where it's a little wider now into thirds, and now I got a really thick center. So maybe I need that to go down the middle. So if I want that to be right down the middle, I've got to watch where I'm folding, and I can just kind of pleat it and then fold it. You could go to town, guys, but you can control what pattern you have down the middle. See how cute that is? Whatever you want, and rotate it a little bit, and then once you're really happy with where it's at, like, you manipulate it over. I'm gonna go over a little bit. There we go. I'm gonna run that right down the middle. Oh, so it's a little bit thicker. But with just a couple of changes, I can have a thick center or a thin center. I can even go thicker if I want. And you can really make that center super cute. That's a little design school behind the doors trick. Secret tip for you. But look how cute. Ah, so stinking cute. All right, let me know in the comments how much you like this bow and if you want to learn more. And if you want to learn more about design school, just ask. I had so much fun making this with you. Y'all, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. I can't wait to make another project like this with you. All right, Bloomerinos, I'll see you next time. Y'all go have fun with flowers.